Hi, I'm Janice Ortega, and I am a harp teacher and performer. Today I would like to introduce my harp family to you and hope that you enjoy what I have to offer and that you too will be enticed by the harp. It's quite a beautiful instrument. I've been teaching harp for 40 years. In addition to my private teaching studios, I'm on the faculties of Cal State University East Bay, Mills College, Golden Gate Philharmonic Youth Orchestra, and the San Francisco School of the Arts. My teachers include Juilliard Professor Nancy Allen, Principal Harpist of the New York Philharmonic, Phia Berghout, Principal Harpist of the Concertgebouw in Amsterdam, Susann McDonald, Professor Emeritus at Indiana University, and my teacher, Wenonah Govea at Cal State East Bay. I teach all aspects of harp technique along with a general knowledge of music. I teach both salzedo and grandini methods of playing the harp. And my teaching includes theory, ear training, sight reading, improvisation, and arranging for the harp. Each lesson includes harp solos, technical exercises, and an overview of music concepts as it applies to each student and piece. I love teaching harp. I love teaching beginners as well as advanced students. My youngest are 5 years old, and I have my dear Lila, who is 97 this year, and she's extraordinary. I have private lessons for 30 minutes, 45, an hour, and they can be weekly, every other week, every month. Depends on your motivation. I do prefer weekly intervals for progressive learning. And lastly, my goal as your teacher, I want everyone to learn the harp and to really enjoy this instrument. I'm going to start with my baby, and this is known as a lap harp, and I'll play you a tune that you all will recognize, I'm sure. London Derriere, or Danny Boy is the other name for it. Now, I'm going to show you what happens when harps get bigger. This is one of my 5-year-old students' favorite harps, and you will see why. Because this harp has the capability of playing gorgeous music with a much larger range now than the lap harp. And what I enjoy, excuse me, just moving this bench over, what I enjoy about this harp is that 5-year-olds feel very comfortable with this instrument. I am going to play for you on this harp a very sweet piece called Chinese Moon. So the following instrument you'll see is the classic lever harp. That is probably the most popular harp for students of mine. Some of them stay on the lever harp and are perfectly happy with that instrument, and there are some very fine lever harpists. It's not necessary to go to the pedal harp, but it is a harp that is helpful to learn in training for a pedal harp. So now you'll notice there's even more strings. And about those strings, all these harps have the same uniform system that's universal. The red strings are C, the black strings are F, and they're octaves apart so that you can visualize and find where you are. It's your roadmap to knowing where the notes are quickly. The following piece I'm going to play, again, is another one that's, I'm sure, recognizable for you. It's the Canon in D by Pachelbel. So now we enter the pedal world. The harp that I want to show you next is a student pedal harp. It's actually the same size as the lever harp, but it has 7 pedals. And that allows us to play in many different keys. The difference between these two harps is several centuries. This harp to my left has the 7 pedals, larger range, and it was designed in 1801. It's considered one of the youngest, even though that was a long time ago, it's considered one of the youngest instruments of the orchestra for that reason. And this harp on my right, the lever harp, has been around for hundreds of years. And if you think of a hunter's bow, you sort of understand the history of the harp and why so many countries claim this instrument as their own. It actually was in the tomb of Tutankhamun, 3000 BC, and my glasses broke, sorry about that. And it's, of course, referenced in the Bible with King David. So, and we know from traveling in Ireland, the famous icon on all the government buildings, of course, is the harp, and on the coins. So now I'm going to move this little guy aside so this one can take front stage. There we go. You'll notice the body of these harps are a bit bowed. And actually, even though they have different veneers, the harp itself is made out of maple, which is a very strong, durable, hard wood that has tremendous resonance. The soundboard is Sitka spruce from Alaska. And this strip in the middle is another form of spruce. These harps are handmade. The mechanism on the top, there's almost 2,000 moving parts. Some of those are conveyor belt mechanisms, but mostly they have to be adjusted by hand. It's really a work of art as well as a magnificent instrument. The pedals alter the pitch by half steps. So this baby allows us to compete with all the other classical instruments, which is really wonderful. So we steal a lot of music, sorry about this, we steal a lot of music from keyboard composers. And we of course have our own that's written explicitly for the harp. You will recognize this. This is, of course, another folk song, and it's What Child Is This?, otherwise known as Green Sleeves. You might hear my feet adjusting to all these pedals. Okay, here we go. Getting a little bit bigger in age, my next harp to show you is a full student harp, full student pedal harp. And it's also known as a monitored concert grand harp. It's slightly smaller than a concert grand, of course with the pedals. This one is quite bright. When I play it, it's almost like skiing downhill. I sometimes think I need sunglasses. And because it's so bright and flashy, of course I name all my harps. This one I name Elvis. So appropriately, I'm going to play for you an Elvis tune. And this is I Can't Help Falling in Love. And now, the final harp. Thank goodness, I'm very grateful they don't make them any bigger than the harp you're about to see, which is the concert grand harp. Not that bad. You get used to it. When I was little, when I started playing, I thought a harp would just magically appear wherever I went. And then it was too late. I was already hooked. What could I do? So I thought I would play for you a song that I frequently teach my students. All of these I teach my students, of course, but this is a favorite of my students, and it's called The Little Fountain. you've enjoyed learning about the harp. It's a wonderful instrument because even shy people can really learn to have fun with others with this instrument. I have a harp ensemble program, and I notice with my students that they really come out their personality when they have a chance to play the harp with others. And it's easy to hide behind the instrument, but once someone tries to pluck the strings without knowing that they have to wash their hands first, then the harpist suddenly becomes a mama harp player, and we all learn to assert ourselves and be confident. So this is important too, and that we have something very special. I always feel so lucky that I'm in this world of the harp. And I want to thank all the parents out there, because obviously without a parent, this is not possible. My parents saved and saved, and they really initially did not want me to learn the harp because they knew how difficult it would be to move it, to purchase it. And because I loved the instrument so much, I had an answer for all of that. And actually, my answers were correct. You can always ask for help. You save money. You learn on a rental. There's answers to many of these problems. If you have a passion and a curiosity waits you, you find the answer to those questions. I would like to thank you very much for having me in your room looking at these harps, and I hope you come join me someday. Thanks again.